katak whamomore. Ka malo pito e moulawa mai ke programa e fia fini. Whamomore pe ki ta taimi, ko ku taimi pe ki he nihi ko ia o ku whaamu ke mau I heni, o tala no atu ki he programa ko e ni o e Tongan Youth Athletes. Ko e programa sporti eni, whikawaki mo I tau whanau. Ko e programa ko e ni, e lava ke whakako whatongia atu ai ni ihi kehe o e kautaki si poti mei I he kolo kotokotoa pe I Amerikani, pe a guiai pe foki mo ni ihi te uwhetutaki ki ai ki mei Nusila pe a umaa foki a Australia. Whamoremore ko au siwa grivai, whai whatongia atu eni mei kahuku Hawaii I he mo miniti ko eni, ko e tala noa pe eni ki he tau kau si poti. Pea ko e wheitu eni te tau whanonga ke ngahi ripoti, me ngahi kolo kehe, vahe kehe, Amerikani, California, Hawaii, Washington, Texas, Utah, o gai pe ani ihi e mau whengawe aki, ke nau unu mai o vahe ai ngahi hingoa mo e tamaiki o ku Rising Stars peko tamaiki nau si kaunga tā maki I he sipoti e nau ngai tawhaki ke. E ai whoki mo mau tamaiki skolasipi mei Tonga na mau o mai straight from Tonga. E tokolahi au pito. O nau I he ngahi high school, pe ni I nau I he ngahi Apiako Division 1 skolasipi I he sipoti. Pe te kumi ki nau tolu pe whambe humahani o ripoti mai anga nau whakaukau. I ai whoki mo ni I na o mai me Nusila ka o maa Australia. O gai whoki mo ngahi whainga maari he taimini ngahi scholarship kehe ki he tautaha wha, tautaha nima, ki ngahi academy, pe mo ngahi Apiako, e tokoni I ai ki nau tolu, ka paukai ki work out I he wheitu o nau I ai. Pa te mau atu whoki mo ngahi update, ai uesia o e ngahi toku wa inga I taimini tau toti whito e Amerikani, ko unga ko COVID-19. Pea ku, o kore atu ke mou share atu e polo kalama, ki mua pea huu mai hani ihi ko ia kau whengange, pe ko e nau seni e link ane afi, o ke be mau ki pēsi, o ku I be ko TYA, pe ko Tongan Youth Athletes, o tokola heo pito. Pe na nau whatonga I link pe I kai, pe ko kore bega nau tolu, ka pau, o ko ke whanongo mai, pea ke whenga mai. Tohi mai ka pau kaha paro parema, he ko e, ka hame ana ulawe ki ai, scholarship ke, me he tau hongo fulu whai ki o lunga. Ki ngai private school, ngai training ke, ngai academy, na mau whetohi aki ko scholarship hongo fulu I LA, ki he training center ia, ko ngai mea ko ni ulau wafe ke te kauai, ka ulotonga o atu ia I he taimini ke tamaiki high school, ko nihi koe te nau huu koe ai, ko e professional trainer, personal trainer I he ngahi academy, o e kau tūki moa spoti, kau millionaire, pe aku nau hanga o mai, u koe fo spoti hongo fulu, o lolotonga ia Chris Mamalanga ia mo komiti he taimini, ke whai hono whakasio mo whai tokoni ki ai. Tokolahi au pita tau kautonga, o kaunga tāmaki he whai ako, coach I ngai tawhaki kehe, levolo kehe, pe iai pe mo mau ngai polo kalama, ki o atu ngai tips, mo ngai whainga maari, tau tari whiu ke mātua, ke whonga to tonu hono wharei, mo lewai tau whanau, manatui ko spoti, ko pau peke lere whakataha e moe ako. Mau taimi ho lele hi spoti, pea ke whakataha ki ai, you're going nowhere. Ko ne ospe high school, ko ne osi anaia. He kei ke aha korisia de ne tari, hataha, o I kai ke ne mau kakato, ai ngai whakaamu ko ni. Ko iai, he lotonga ko e ku whenga ki ai, whamalohe ni ki a Emily, ko inga ko ne kau mai ki e tau polo kalama, pea pehe foki, ai whamalohe ni ki a Lindsay, o whātu ka pehe foki ki a Mary Taulahi, Emily, ko ku whenga foki eni ke build up e download e ku tuuaki more pe talu e hopoki ki station ko ni mo e ke fe mo e kina e fotu tu ngai me alahi ka ko faamu pe after tonight I'll get it all down fa malo atu ka ko kore hendi ke ta ia to ki ka mo no fo mai se atu ke ngai matua te mautala no ngai polo kala ma spot ke fa malo atu go wenti you are right on ta hinde go wenti mo station ni a Honolulu Vake Tali Folau oua maalahi au pito koia fauli pe freeway mo fanongo oua pe to sio mo ala holo na exiteni ka mo tauhile leipe ko me ia go ku fa fia e tau polo kalama te lava pe ki tai au ngā aue ai ki ia phone mo fanongo pe ngai newsi ko fa fo ke manako ange ai ngai polo kalama tau kape ia i polo kalama ko o atu ai ngai fainga mari kata ka pau ke lave ai fo istetes ko ya fo mon more kita ka ko kore mo ku fa amu ke kau mai a ni ko nga ke ange ko me na lave ki ai ke tau ki po tala noa i taimi ta tau ko tari e ko kau tama Christmas malanga mei ela Filipe tui vai mei sia to ka tam fo ni kau tam mo mo pe o ko ke teke pe ki nau tolu ke mo ua be mo give back ke tau whanau pe ko pe ke tuku e foi me ko au pau be ke fai ia pa una whaaloto lelei au pito pe nau tolu ke ngai polo kalama o ke tai mi be mau polo kalama ia mau tolu ko uinga ko fu pandemic ko ni fatonga yang e foki go retire I mean but I'll have more time now lele polo kalama lahi au pito ki Tonga Amerika ngai ball game Tonga ball me ke i he lolo Tonga e ku ngawe ko foi retire ko ni fere e tau polo kalama ki fa nau spoti tangata mo fefine ko e ki tai mi be nia ko feto aki a pandemic na fokotu ha polo kalama ia hanga tau Tonga ball ko pau elele ia ka ko fasesio beni anga feto aki ko ni ai ko pine i ko lockdown i ko tukuange pa ko tui ko o se mahinani o se fotu atu ngai polo kalama ki he matua e matua ko ki ke spoti tau whanau ko ki tau tolu matua because we are the one who's in the way matui ko whanau ko wangai spoti nau mo ui ake nau tolu ko e palo pare ma te nau mo ui ake nau tolu o maolunga ia i he ako lotu ngawe api mo ngai pui mo ngai mea keke mahala ko foi mea pe o maolunga ange i he sipoti ki hata masi pe tahine ko taimi ko o faiso ai o ofange ia haki tamasi pe haki tahine pe mahalo e mu ai eli aki ko to spoti mo ya ko mo family mo matua mo lotu ko anga pe whakahua o ke ki ton ke pe ko ai o gulahe me e polo kalama ko ni ko ki mo tolu matua pe ko taimi ko e vai pandemic o ko foi mau komiti mau tolu e state ko mo kolo la lahi kotokotoa. Aia mana tu i foko ko mau non-profit ko pase. Polynesian American Sports and Education. Ka ku breakdown i mai ko ki Tonga Youth Athletes. Ai ni kon tau tala noa he taimini. Pa ko hono mo ni o naia o ku fu pere ngesi ia. He lahi ngai mea lele ia ai te tau feako aki. Pa ko mau tolu ko ni o ku mau i he mala e ko ia. We're here to help. Ko mau he ni ke mau takai atu ko uinga ke fai ai ngai fonga mo ngai polo kalama ke tau fetokoni aki ai. He ku mau os ilo i ai fie mau e tau whanau mo ngai polo kalama ke ko mau mo ui matou na kita me ke ko spoti atatape. Mo tolu na mo ilo i au, mo ilo i pe au. O au ki o mai ko ne whanau mei tonga. Whamu pe huma taha whanau mei tonga. Ui ko si na e he anus lolohea, koe ki tamasi ia me vava, me mai le fi. Hanga tonu mai me mai le fi. Me vava, tau tahanima, pa ipi mai borogalama, hao ki hen, mai whainga mare. O kui whea, Oregon State, Division 1, akapulu ai, ako tae totongi, full right. So ange ki he maari e. Nai whakawhi ke a Stanley tau fō, tamasi koe ni straight from Tonga, tau tahanima hao, o kui whea. USC, kai ngā kapulu mōsi lo pe USC. Wai wā ki korisi e ki whaiga whakata. But that's where he's at. Kai ke, ka koe anga ia koe tuu koe e tau mea ke taimi. Ka tuku mua ke uta ia ta ki whasi. Ko uhinga, ke kau whakasi o e mau kau tama pe ku ke ho haa to ngā ue ia. Tau alu ka hopo i veo. Ke ia, ko ia. Shea te pa mono fo mai, o ua te mouria ki mau tōru. Koe atape, koe o whalau, koe a peia. Kainga, kataki whamore more. Teu, o kou kei tau wheturi pe mo kau tama, kai kau sai pe i he taimi lolotonga, kou whenga ke whaka update atu e ki mea koe ni, kai io. Kai ke, koe whaka amu ke lere koe ni ai tou spoti. Matu koe kamata atu e ni kai lere ai si poti. Pea o koe kamata koe ne tau agapuru. E pisi au pito. Kai tuki o ata ki whanongonongo kau ki Hawaii. o ku ki matu tamaki ai programa ko Hawaii pe ko whaka ofa ia I he ku whanau agapulu. Mo mai no I be foki ko au ko e Red Raider for life. He? Ko hingoa ko e whotu pe e au he ku ke head coach ko I kahuku. Tahiwa hiwa no nau pe ai a Red Raider for life. Tai mini ko where a Red Raider for life. He? Kai whake ngatai, pau kamatai haka whaka rugby. I agapulu wha Amerika. Io, na e hao e kau whiku me Nusila, ko e tohi e historia, o e huu ko I e haka he agapulu wha Amerika. Pena nau whikumi mai o mau talanoa I na viwau. Pero hana au nofo ai pe au hanga whakahu ai haka. Sorry. I he agapulu wha Amerika. Mana toi nau fulere mai me tonga tau hongo fulu ne te keke rugby au I tonga. Ka nau manako pea rugby, ngā ke tonga ko toa pea, o ku sa ia pea ke sio rugby. He? Kaike? Pea I he ku kahu I kahu ku, taiwa fitu ono ku ke kasi hongo fulu, o ku ko si hu au he ki timi na ui pea ko e 76. O e ki timi rugby ia, tau ia mo men's, timi ia penivai, mounga pea hu e kaure ka ko ia mautol o kawai pea nau sa ia pea ia I he football o pea ia I ka huku mo rugby he pea nau sa ia pea rugby pea I he kuhoko ko e coachi nau hanga ia o whaka o include te mea koe ni koe whakatahatau ko mautol koe nu ilo ki those of you who know about rugby, the biggest thing is they call it a team meeting the night before the game. It's I'm not sure because I have a you know, it brings a team together. It's when it's the last meeting that night before. Friday night is when the rugby players have their meeting. You know, now whakataha ko ia ko whakatahatau. Tau e tama whai e ne rea tau, mo ne whakapapau, mo ne whakaamu, he? Ki ne whakaanaua e ne mea e whai I malae. Pea ko nau sa ia ui ai. Ui ngai ko te hange ko te hanga ia o whai hapalo mesi, o paini ia, pea te mate aki, ki te tau tā mate ki he moto ko ia. He? Pea koe whuke taimi au, koe ki e lava o kulere mua e tala noa, pea koe whakaamu, ka ke au kia I e iwi. E ka koe ngahi mea ia, mo ngahi lau maari e ia na mau, e whakatahatau maa whana. Te sio koe ke whakatahatau, pia koe o ku whakatahataha mai ki ai foi ti mi katoa. Kau pou mo haipe. Pia koe whai ki kai, e osi ko ia, ko ne whai lotu, pia whai whakatahatau. Te milahe ku rea kapteni, mo coach, pea ui e timi. Ui e starting 15. Pea iai mo e kautari la vea. Pea ko te tautu ko ia whakaamu ke te starter. Tō tako tō pe first 15 ko koe te ke uraki laka ki malae. Oua. That's what we live for. Ko te sipoti, ko mō meniti a kou whai kia teu. Pea te ilo he pōwhalai te, pe ku te kau I he stata he tokonaki. Koe taimi koe kui ai. Osi koe au pasipasi. Pea, most time o ku lea e kapteni, talamonu ki e tamaiki, pea whaarea mo coach ki mua pe toki rea ki mui, ki he uhinga mo whotu mo ne whalala ko whai ki he whanau goni na e uiho nau ngahi hingoa. Pea ko ne hiri ko ia. Pea toki tu urewa. Aki be maa whana. Tu koe ka urea. Asi. Pea mondi e rea ko te tu whakata. Whamalo ke whalala e kouti ki a te kita. Pea koe ni ko unu iha ke kita ke te hanga o. Hopoki, o tā I mala e. Kaike, kainga. Koe Peko te rea koe ia, koe ke te whai ha rea ke tuku hifo. Koe te whakamalo koe ki he fo i whalala koe nai tuku mai ki te kita. Ka uia fo i mea mahu i ngā upito. Pea koe mea ia oku whaingo i ki ai whainga. Peko te tū koe rea koe ia, te mate aki. Koe whanki i pauhanga to'o fo i mea koe ake football. Koe taimi lahi, koe osi koe mau whamalo sino whaka osi, pia mau tuku koe, tuku whamalo sino ia. Mau alu koe ke sawa, o gui rewa kau kaptenia nau whakatahatau. And most time koe ki mau alu madol kia kau coach. He koe taimia ko hanga tuku iai, ai loto koe mo wowonga taha, mo hoko e whanau koe taki. Pea nau loka nau tore loki, pea lere nau whatahatau. Pea tak tahatu o tamasi i uma whanau. Pakahange koe whatahatau rugby, koe ke pehe pehia koe kau toko tahanima bena e whiri. Lea e kau tarilawea, e nau poupou, lea e kau kuki, kau poupou, Nau hanga o mai e fo i mea koe ia. Ai rugby o mai au ke Agabufa Amerika. Pa hanga o rea o whakapausi au ke whai taha mau kiti. Mau tolu koe na mau lawe e ku coach koe ka huko. Na mau alu mau toke langi lau aki ngai ariaki koe ia. Kou toki tala noa gwen ke ngai secret nau whakaau ngai. Ai mea koe koe ongo whakatonga koe ai whiongo i koe ia. Tō alo i mata. Pe tuku ko tō alo tō ki loto. Whaile reita. Pe ku sempolo ki pēha whainga ngāwe. Pisinisi, po ka whainga kulupu. Ka taimi ku loto taha ai. Pe ko ha toko nima, toko uange au. Ko lava me alahi mooni mooni. Laku ki toa e ni hia koe o ku heu heu. It's not the quantity. It's not the quantity. Ko mea uwhi mau ke whai taha. Ko e fwoi kulupu koe unau whakalere ha mea. Ke nau whai taha. That's more important. To be together as one is far more important than anything else. I'd rather have a group of 30 people who are bind to be one, who are united to push and work for the same goal, than to have 100 people and only 80 is really for it and the other 20 is not. No. I believe in percentage. I'd rather have a group with 100%, committed than a big group whose only 80% is committed, or less, or even more. Koe ai, koe ngai konga ia na e omi koe ki he tau. E kainga tonga, tau sio matape ki he lelei o kumao e sipoti. Fere a lelei. Oku nau ki mui koe pe e mau ha skola sipiako, pe e mau ha whainga maari e professionalo ki maa sirini. Koe mea kau hoko oku hanga he sipoti o discipline e tau whanau. Oku fie mau e Amerikani. Tapu pe mo moutoro ha whanga. Sometimes oku tau spoiler e tau tolo e tau whanau i Amerikani. They are too comfortable. O ke nau anga nau tō ke nau struggle pe nau whaingata ia. Always mā kona ala tonu pe mea koto a whainga maari. Fo I vave ka pau wiaki challenge. O kuhu mai ko spoti te nehanga e ia o teke ho foha peko tahine beyond his normal limit. Sports will make your child uncomfortable at times. Ke hela ia o that two more. Let's go, push yourself. He ka pau he ikai sipoti. Oh my gosh. Fie mohe be mohe. Hela ia be malolo. Fie kai be kai. Ko le reia a sipoti ko discipline. Discipline. Tene ta ofi o koe lao a sipoti. Toi tana kia te foi mea eua. Ilo e ako, tokanga tam si au ki ako. O koe ko koe pe nia mātua te ke teke ki nautoro e ako. O toi hanga e sipotia tekei o toi maalunga ngei i ho o teke. He ko teke fuki au ke toki api peo si o tonu pa ke to teke tamasi ipu e tahine. Ilo e taimu teke he coach, o si mahina ke tamasi ipu e tahine, ko pau ke fokia ki ako report ke coach, ko lava mena, kai ke vainga ia. Pa koe ke ngata pe ilo he coach me whanau vainga, ilo he coach, ilo e maman gato. Aia koe, it's a extra help for us parents. A spoti koe tau whanau. Fu mahu inga upi. Koe haa ai palopale malahi taha o e youth today in America. Obesity. Ilo e obesity, ko sino ko e whangi whanau. Nihi koe ke fu sino vevega u suka, mamaki. Kai e meri e o mamani. Ko health, tikatu. Hanga he si poti, omi mo uilelei. Fu maalunga au pitoia. Fu maalunga au pitoia. Aia ko he, koe tau whamaupopo koe ngai lelei o me si poti. Mo uilelei, sai e ako, sai e urungaanga, discipline. Toi poto he ngāwe, ko hange ia ha ko i ke ngāwe. It pushes you beyond your limit. Pea ku toi iai mo e whainga mārie, ke mau ha scholarship ako. Pea ka au fokia, ko scholarship ako ko ni ko whanau tonga ko ni mei tonga, straight from tonga. Ai ni ko nuna wako, San Jose, Oregon State, USC. When I korisi ko ni, ka pau te nau to tongi e nau wako. Because ko scholarship is 6 years and more. Ki ose ako. E ose au ia i he ua kilu tupu ki o lunga. To tongi full ride room and board me a katoa. Oku laka ai polokalama scholarship si potia. I scholarship ako. Taha. A taha ia, mahalo koe poto taha pe as o kune mau a scholarship ilahi pe. Ka mahalo koe tuisi ni pe, wavy. Moe ako pe, moe. Not sports. You don't break down it there. Pea moe o whai, moe kai ke hela he tu ulaine o le sisita na. O se pika kai una ma whai katoa mea koea. E fi mai ki ke toi alu koe o fighti ki ho kalasi ke mau ke alu on time na a phone. No. They take care of everything. Ngahi lele ia koe o sipoti. Pea ka ke katoe au ke professional level. Koe milionea ia. Koe milionea ia. Keke? Koe ngahi polo kalama, koe ni hono pusi aki. Pea koe ne kamata koe ne tō ka pulu ia sisi ki hoa taha mo konga ia whakawiki koe ni te mau. Aini koe ni ke mau hanga o whakahoko atu ai ngahi polo kalama. He lahi ngai ripotia e toki hu mai ai ngau coaches me ngai whitu ke o lave ki ai. Kone osipea mene tāni ma meheni koe ke hu mai ku kau polo kalama. Te utatau atu ai pe kau wakawakai ke hui kahau. Ka koe taimie. Koe taimie ni koe o e programa ko ni pe ka pau pe na ilo e ke na lava mai na mi ange ki extra time ma te iho mari au pe te programa ha te iho pe tokolahi pe na mahu inga e pe na wongo i pe ka na e toka i ko e mau programa mo mau fitohi aki te nau i heni pe ko huinga ia na pe ai ke ua te ai ke na mo taria ka ko ni aku kai ke nau heni kai toka tu ke atu ki fasi ko ni ke mo ki whanongo ki ai pe osi ko ia osi ko ia ko tatau atu e au ia ai polo kalamatu ke ka au ki ai ko humata ke ma tala noa ka ko whakasio nea fo hiva ko e ngari tika atu ai pe Island Medley. I don't think I played this yet. Ian kau toki hoko atu.
Para
toki mea mai ki he whasiko ia. Ka kou fia ku he ne taha ku whangatokoa. Ke ma ki tala noa any report I pe ki he our youth. Ko ia te utuku e taimi koe ni ki David Vimahi ke ne whahoko atu pe ia. David, you can briefly introduce yourself in case we have new people sometimes. And then any report that you want to give about our youth from the Kahuku area or the whole state of Hawaii. Malo apito. David. David, can you unmute? Not yet. Lolotonga koi I think David ke ongo mai o go fie fia pege makitala noa kau ki kahuku mo e whanau a kapulu koi a pe mo spotty boys and girls, you know, kahuku. David, can you test your sound?
Aloha, can you guys all hear me now?
Yep, now it's loud and clear. Yeah, so may introduce yourself a little bit in case of new people, and then anything you want to report about the athletes in our area. Malo.
Yeah, so my name is David Avimahi. I live here in Kaupu, Hawaii, and been a long-time coach here at Kaupu High School for football, and just took on the recruiting responsibilities here for the football program, and been helping the past several months with those efforts. And we're blessed to have three of my sons that are playing collegiate football at the moment. My older son, Ariki, is a defensive lineman at University of Utah. My middle son, Isaiah, is an offensive lineman over at Hutchinson Community College. They just beat Snow College for the Junior College National Championship back in June. And then my youngest son, Inoke, plays for Ohio State, offensive lineman. So we've been blessed. Just wanted to give back as far as being able to help in the recruiting process. Every year, the recruiting process seems to evolve. And so to be able to help parents as well as players kind of prepare them for what the expectations are in the recruiting process is where I come into play. And it's very gratifying to be able to help families be able to place their son or even their daughter into a college or university. And I know Coach Shiwaki has many years of experience being able to do that to not only our community, but of course our kids back in the Kingdom of Tonga. So again, he's been a great example for me and many of those here that kind of taken on that the torch and continue to run with it.
Thank you, David. I'm proud of what you're doing. You know, like I said, there's no better person than you and your beautiful wife, Lori, you know, for the many years of commitment and, you know, not only for your kids, but beyond, you know, as your kids all graduate, majority, and, you know, go on to college with scholarships and stuff, you guys are continue to take upon the responsibility of helping our young ones, you know, and those are I'm grateful for. And Bishop Vimahi, that goes to show the blessing that you guys receive and continue to do so. And it shows with, you know, the result of your beautiful children in the different places. And I think the challenge, David, Bishop, is how are we going to share our time to watch Ohio, Utah, and JC, you know, and just trying to make it happen, because I think I'm going to, of course, I'm going to catch a few games of Utah, you know, because I'm there now. You know, I come to visit, but I'm there, and I'm definitely gonna follow Aliki and the boys there. But you know what? I am going to make it to one of Ohio's game. I'm going to pick one that if you give me the schedule, or I may look it up and see when they are closer on the West Coast area. I think that's when we will be there because I really want to be there for Inoke. And I already scheduled a game in September 11 in Oregon State because one of my straight from Tonga students that is full ride over there. And they play Hawaii. So, I'm not up to date with who's in Hawaii's team, but, I'm sure I know many of the boys are there, whether they're from Kahuku or Mililani or Punahou, St. Louis, it don't matter. But so I'm committed to that game. I'm also committed to the USC game on September 25 at USC because I have another Tonga boy at USC, and we'll play Oregon State again. So I'm starting to make my schedule, and to show support for all the many young ones that we have. And I'm sure, Bishop, that you and Laurie will catch some of these games, and I'm sure we are all on the same boat, trying to set our schedule, with our current responsibility, and also show support to our kids. How is our season at Kahuku coming? I know the state have made some changes lately. Can you give us an update on that, please?
Yeah, so as some of you may have heard, that there's a pause in fall sports here in the state of Hawaii that just was issued last week. The mandate now is for all players, coaches, and volunteers to be vaccinated. And so they are going to give us a deadline of the end of September. And then hopefully by then, the percentages will go up as far as vaccination, and we will cross our fingers, start up our season again. But we were actually going to start next weekend was actually going to be the start of the season. But because of the pause, again, it's pushed back for another month. So,
David, I'm not sure exactly the process last year, but I know at the end of the year we didn't have any game, right? They postponed it, and then thinking it was gonna get better, but it got worse. Yeah. I think the difference between last year and now, I think the state has to have a certain percentage of vaccinated people, and I think, how is that coming? What is your feel? What is your feeling? Are they very supportive, or?
Yeah, there's it. Like every other state, everyone has their differences, but I believe the governor here wants at least 70% of the state to be vaccinated by any one of those authorized vaccinations. So, there are some. I think it might be a bit later for those that want to go to the mainland, if they haven't decided yet. So at least here at Kahuku, many of them have decided to just stay here and get the vaccination, and then just wait for the state, because they don't want to have to go to the mainland again for the second season.
Oh, so what percentage do you think of our players last year went to the mainland? Was there a high percentage, or?
There wasn't. It's just mainly the standout players. I would say a good dozen or so actually made it there and split their time between Utah, Arizona, Washington, and a few in California. Washington and California played their season during the spring of this year.
Oh, yeah, because I kind of was out of it. I was focusing on my retirement and things. Now I'm going to pay more attention. It's in California. I have some a lot of the things I know about Cali is because of my kids from Tonga, that allow those things to be there. And there's some great opportunity that open up in Cali. And one of the good ones is the fact that even if they don't have a scholarship in Cali, if they play a year there, they automatic qualify for the Instinct program, which means the many junior college there, it's almost gonna be for free. It's like with the Pell Grant and stuff, because as you know from Hawaii, when we come as a freshman from Hawaii to JC, it's almost like out of state fee, and it's crazy and it's not good. But with all those, of course, many times I don't share that because we want our kids to be here at home. And at the same time, I hope they won't keep postponing this. Well, I feel for the seniors and the juniors, and beyond wanting, them to stay home for our Red Raider because, that's where we at. I just feel bad that unfortunate these kind of opportunities for them to lose out on some great opportunities that they may have. But thank you for sharing that. I hope, and I guess this percentage, 70% that the governor is pushing for, it's not just the players and the volley, it's just overall. So we are urging all of you out there in Hawaii, let me share this personal experience. It might help some of the people who's not, taking these, the shots. I was one of the one who was skeptical about taking my vaccine shot, David Bishop, and for my own reasons, not sure why. So, as a teachers, we had priorities, so we had it going, and I kind of put it off, and then I saw my doctor. I'm not too healthy, I got, diabetes, I got heart problem, I got all kind of stuff with me that I never admit, I'm just, kind of hard head about it. So I saw my doctor about certain thing. We talk, and then he said, Coach, and I talk about it, and he said, Coach, you are, especially guys like you who's not too healthy, you should take your shot. So that if you ever get, the virus, at least you got something to fight it off. Because if you don't, for whatever reason, as soon as you get it, you're going to die, because, and then you know what? Say no more. I'm telling myself, okay, all these reasons and these things that I think why I didn't take a shot, like thinking that I'm more healthier not taking it than taking the shot, and I'm thinking, I can just see myself if I don't take the shot and I get the virus, then I'm going to run around and get mad for people to give me the shot. But it's too late already, So for me, I decided I have a better chance of living longer by taking the shot. Whatever all these stories that they may not happen, may be not true, and it may never happen to me. But if I don't take the shot and I get sick, I am gone. So with that, if you are listening to me right now and you have all these little reasons, yeah, it's good. Because those reasons are not firm. But if you get sick, you know what? We're not going to waste a shot on you anymore. Yeah, too late. Yeah, you go ahead and answer your call because you have many opportunities to take it, but you feel poco. But anyway, that's just my opinion. Back to you, Coach.
Right. No, and from a student athlete's perspective, my sons that are playing college right now, they had mixed feelings about taking the shot as well, and so some were were pro, some were anti-vaccination. But in the end, they had to come to the realization if they test positive during the season, that's 2 or 3 games that they're going to miss because of quarantining and additional. People don't know that student athletes, in order for them to get back onto the field or the court, that they have to sit out a minimum of 14 days. And then after that, they have to have a series of heart scans because they've come to find out that, especially with the athletes, is that it affects their hearts. And so they have to take out additional days off, which basically means that they're going to miss three weeks or 3 games of the season. So I had to tell them, hey, so what's more important, you deciding not to take it or missing 3 games,
Yeah.
potentially,
When
if you test positive.
because
And they don't even have to feel sick. They just test positive,
yeah.
They could be, they have no symptoms at all, but still have to sit out.
And guys need to understand in college D1, you miss 3 to 4 games, it's almost like a season because while you're sitting out, even if you were the starter, somebody else are taking over your place. And it's not like you're going to come right back into it and take it back. You might be back after 3 or 4 games and you might need 2 or 3 or 4 games to get it back. And and sometimes we may not know whether the season is going to be a full season. Things can turn around in any time. So with that point in mind, but our heart goes out to these athletes, David, because you got 4 years in high school, to present yourself, to sell yourself to the college, to the D1. And this is like 2 years in a row that is kind of, it does affect, their ability to gain experience, to expose themselves, and for the coaches, college coaches to review them on honestly, it really hurts, and we really feel for them. I think, and we hope things are gonna get better soon, and so. Any other report on other athletes, our young ones, the big boys program, the girls, that is going on?
Right. So I think one of the class of 2020, one of the boys here that's been doing very well on the offensive line is Shonehei Muri.
Yeah.
He's one of our offensive guards here at Kahuku, and I think he's going to make a big statement this season. Of course, he wasn't able to play last year. He was one of those players that decided not to go to the mainland. But he's definitely got the size. He's about 6'3", 6'4". He's about 310, 15 pounds, and very athletic. And so he's a hard worker. But that's one of our Tongan kids here, at least here, that's up and coming. That's tough. I think the number one player out of Hawaii for 2023 is Pancho Ope's younger brother. And so, he's going to be attending St. Louis High School this coming season. And he's already gotten a lot of awards from various summer camps. And so I think out of our Tongan athletes, I think Pancho is the one here in the next couple of years that will definitely get some national recognition as far as a football recruit.
He was always stocky, big for his size as a young man. When I used to visit Ope at the house, when he was in St. Francis, I already knew that boy is going to go a long way, And there's many, many programs that is going on. Like I said, I know our rugby girls was doing good. Our volleyball girls are still there, with the many things. And, thank you for taking the lead with Laurie. on helping all, because you guys went through all of this experience of recruiting, and the parents will talk about this in this program in the future, about there will be a program we talk about recruits, tips that parents can do to help as they try to prep themselves to visit different schools, and the way to make decisions and different things. But yeah, I wish Chris Mamalanga was here about the 10 spots that that we receive for the young ones on the training. There's a lot of things going on, and I think I'm going to book Tongabo in California at the end of the year, and I'll as right now everything is, I guess, week by week, month by month, whatever it is. But we pray for a good opportunity in the future. But David, anything else that you want to add, please?
Yeah, so just to let you know that my wife and I, we run a nonprofit service called Recruit Kahuku. And so we have pages on all social media platforms, Twitter, Instagram. And what the service provides is just awareness and education for our Pacific Island people, really anyone that wants to understand the recruiting process. So we have a bi-weekly Zoom meeting that I promote off of our Facebook page, and it's open for anyone. And so last Thursday we had Brandon Huffman, who is the national director for 24/7 Sports, for college sports, and he came and talked about what the media's expectations are of student athletes when it comes to football. And really, there isn't anyone else that is an authority to the recruiting process more than Brandon Huffman. And so we had him, and he was answering questions from some of our parents. And then we also had T. Kinikini, as many of you know T. He's been a long time academic advisor at University of Utah, specifically for our Pacific Island people. And so he came on and talked about various scholarships, grants, loans that you have your child fill out, and that they could be eligible for. And so this is a lot of information that we're going to provide on a regular basis. We also invite college athletes that are currently in college or that are already in the NFL that are from our community, and they share their perspective of how their recruiting process was for them in high school, and then how life is now in college. We just had Alohi Gilman. I was his dad's college teammate and roommate 35 years ago. His son now plays for the Los Angeles Chargers, along with Braden Fehoko. And I think he shared his experience as well. So again, look me up on Facebook, David V. Mahi. Can be my friend, and I will post more things about Recruit Kahuku. But yeah, it's open to anyone, especially for our Pacific Island people. If you can come on Facebook and if you can text, you should be able to help your child through the recruiting process. The beauty of it is that this process applies to all sports, not just football alone. You can apply the same principles in volleyball, basketball, rugby, to what our topics are. So you're welcome to join us. The next one is going to be a week from Thursday.
Thank you very much, David, and we'll keep that updated. Next week program, we make sure we pin it on the board with all the info, and we'll talk more about it. And there's never enough help from all of us, to our parents, our youth, of different opportunities, different things. And we may also talk about here some of the requirements. Some people ask, if it changes because of the pandemic, and we don't want to be giving the wrong info, so we're going to look into our homework, and we'll have people, especially like Tikinikini and those guys that work within the universities, and see what changes requirement wise and the things that is happening nowadays. And yes, I think people miss especially, I talk about football a lot, but I always refer to all sports. In the last couple of years, pretty much, David, of the excitement of attending the real games and the real hype and stuff. And I think people are just can't wait for this season to come up. Hopefully they won't put a stop into it, or more things. Hopefully things will get better, so we can see a little bit of that. And it's more so for our young ones, because like I said, they got 4 years in high school, and the seniors of this class of this year, they're already going through 2 years of not doing a real season. So they're gonna need all the help that they can get, with the program that David is having, and words of mouth, and here we can start to expose some names and try to have the network of people to talk about it, and that's what we can do. And hopefully, well, thank you for coming on, though, David. Appreciate that, because like I said, I didn't want to let this opportunity die down, because it's a real live, and I can make it even more time, and time to fit, everybody. And like right now, it's not bad because it's almost 9 o'clock in Utah, and it's almost 8 o'clock in California. So it's kind of a little early for Hawaii because it's almost 5 o'clock p.m. But I think I selected this time because I think it's almost fit into everybody, to good. But the people who don't see this, they get to see it later on. But I appreciate you for coming on. Any last remarks before we call it a day, David? Please, to you before I close.
Yeah, the one thing I do is if you do have a child that is playing either high school or intermediate or even elementary age sports, is to start now, is to research. Every bit of information regarding your child's recruitment is online and available. The NCAA, who's a governing body for all college sports, has all of their information online. And so that's where we come into play. I know Coach Yuaki as well. They bring, these types of services bring awareness to what we need to do. The scriptures always tell us we cannot be saved in our ignorance. And it's very true. We cannot ignore our children. We may think of their success only on the football field or on the basketball court or volleyball court, but it's success in the classroom, as Coach knows, being a longtime educator, that they need to take care of their schoolwork, and they need to have that balance between both the education as well as the athletics. And if you can, be able to follow and monitor your child during their schooling, I've seen way too many, and I know Coach has as well, way too many parents that put too much emphasis on the sport itself, and the kid is slipping in school. And when the recruiter comes or the coach comes, they look at the transcripts and they shake their head. They're like, man, this kid is a great athlete, but he just can't get it done in the classroom. And I know, Coach, you've coached many standout players over your time that have been in that type of situation. And so if we, this next generation, hey, I was born in Tonga, moved here when I was young. My parents didn't know the recruiting process. They didn't even know what a scholarship was, but, let alone. And so if we first, second, even third generation parents that have lived here in America for a long time, there's no excuse for us. There really isn't, because my expectation for all my children is to be in college. And they knew that right from the beginning. You know, what they decide to do with it after they finish college is up to them. But they knew right from the beginning that no one was going to be left behind, that we were going to do all that we can to do that. Because, like I said, and many of you guys have felt the challenges of living here and being an immigrant. You know, why settle for less than a college education for your children? Because your parents, your grandparents suffered and sacrificed too much in order for us just to be mediocre.
David, I appreciate your words. You know, as our parents and grandparents made the move here, it was for a better education with the land of opportunity. They said we stand on their shoulder. You know, they stand on their parents' shoulders. And if we're not taking advantage of this opportunity, then we're not taking advantage of what we have, and that's sad, and we pray for those that have gone the opposite direction. Sometimes I tell myself it was better off to stay back in the island. At least they get their soul and they're firm and their testimonies. And it is us as today's generation, as you said, our parents made the first move, and it is on us, our generation, to make it happen. We should be living a better life than our parents did, and our kids should live a way better life than us. My son, Bishop, we have this big house in Kahuku, 10 bedrooms. I put my parents there, my siblings there, everybody was there. Yeah, it worked. My son said, Dad, that's not going to work for us. We're going to prove it to you that the hard work you guys done, yeah, we're going to take it to another level. Yeah, it was nice being together. We needed a stepping stone, and we're each going to have our own home. It'll be more peaceful for our siblings. And he said, then we'll get together. That's the step up that we're talking about, and I think, David, we hit it on the nose. If we really love our grandparents and our parents for what they left, their beautiful island, their comfort of what they love to do, so that we can enjoy a better life. And if we're not doing it, then maybe they should have just stayed back. So for us, let's not be selfish. Let's do our very best to put our kids on our shoulders to another better level. And thank you very much, Bishop. Really enjoy you. Thank you for coming on. And until next week.
I gotta show you my. I'm
Yes.
under my lucky May tree right here.
Look
so
at
it's
that. Yeah.
It's the second harvest. Already the first harvest already came in, because my farm is next to your farm.
Yeah.
And it's a blessing to be here. And so this another month or so, and this May over here will be ready. And then right next to it is my puatonga tree.
Man.
It's
some of the people watching from the mainland
beautiful.
can see your background, and they already know that's beautiful Hawaii. And that May is what every Tonganese in the mainland, that's what they want. More than anything, they need
Exactly.
May. Yeah. So
Right.
that's me, Coach Levi from Kahuku, Hawaii, and also Coach David Vimahi, hereby saying ofatu to all of you. Until next week, please tune in. Let's build this program so we know That's where we'll talk about some positive things. Malopito. Ofat.
Mao. Ofat.
Sila o palomesi hai oe ofa Ne fatu he moana oe ta e manonga Kua ke tawhia hopulo i mata To oa i elotoni mosi e te tokanga Sinona, peane alaha Lana huku fata fata Faka amua, kita faka taha Ifo pea vovo ai ofali oa He kua pau hokuloto kishi o fofonga Kua ke uluaki pea ke mu o mua Tawange koe o fani o kuhonga Mafoa ai ata Kite ho sinona peane alaha Lana hoku fata fata Faka amua kita faka taha Aiange au kishi o loto He koe mo uini ko tuku lolo Asi o to ona kua malame Da ahine kua uni te vale Mafoa ai ata Kite ho sinona peane ala